Frank DiMora here for the End Times Research Ministry, getting into a prophecy that I've been warning you about, and I want to take you to that and also share a little video with you. Now, the prophecy that I want to bring to your attention again is what is going to happen on the Temple Mount. And I've been warning you to watch this area because this is one of the most contentioned places that I know of in the Middle East, here in East Jerusalem, where the third temple is going to be built. We had the first temple, the second temple, and now the third temple will be the one that the Antichrist goes into. Now, we do know this because the scripture tells us, for example, in Daniel 9:27, it says this, "And he will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. In the middle of the 7, he will put an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of the temple he will set up an abomination that causes desolation, until the end that is decreed is poured out on him." So, when he is standing in the holy place, the abomination that causes desolation, spoken through the prophet Daniel, let him understand. In other words, the Antichrist is going to be going into this temple. He's going to confirm a covenant that will be the indication that the 7-year period, or the tribulation period, has started. And then in the middle of the 7-year covenant that is confirmed by the Antichrist, he'll break the covenant and stop the sacrifices. And in Thessalonians, for example, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, it says this, in talking about the Antichrist: "He will oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is called God or is worshipped, so that he sets himself up in God's temple." So we know that this is addressing the Antichrist. He's going to go into this temple and defile it, proclaiming himself to be God. This verse is talking about, obviously, is the Antichrist. And so in the last days, I've been warning, there's going to be a lot of activity on the Temple Mount area. There has been a lot of activity on the Temple Mount area. And as of late, as I reported just a couple weeks ago, that the new members of the Israeli Knesset are very active now. And they're going up to this Temple Mount area, and in hopes that soon they're going to retake the Temple Mount area and be able to do whatever they want to do on it, because up until this point, every time that they would go up to the Temple Mount area, as you see right here, obviously that the temple is not built, but the area where the Dome of the Rock is, and you're going to see that in the video here in a second, but when they go up there, then there's rioting. And we saw the same thing happen today. Now, all that's happening is we're seeing the prelude to the first stage of clearing this area out, and then Israel, who actually owns this area, but they are allowing the Islamics to actually run it. But that's all going to change. The Israelis are going to have to move in there. The temple will be rebuilt. And I believe in all my heart that we have the potential to see the conflict arise that could cause the Psalm 83 war over this holy land. So, with that, let me take you over. There's an article that came out today. Arab rioters hurl stones at MK Flaglin on the Temple Mount. And this is one of the newest Knesset members. Very, very influential, and he is pressing to give full access to the Jews. This is very, very important news. I'm going to bring you over to the video. Now, I started to play the video. We're already 2 minutes and 52 seconds into the video. I just advanced it for you, and it is in Hebrew, so you're not going to be able to understand it, but the most important part that I wanted you to see here is the contention that's going on, because we are coming up to the finality, and you will see that the third temple is going to be rebuilt. Here's the Dome of the Rock, of which the Palestinians and the Arabs want to keep the Jews off of. So, watch this. Now, there's one thing for sure. Mr. Flagler knows what happens when he goes up to this area. And it's almost like anticipation that he wants to bring it about so that it has to be dealt with. And if you have Palestinians continuously rioting and throwing rocks and causing damage and harm, the Israelis are going to have to do something about it. And I think that all of us are going to see that happen shortly. Friends, let me tell you this. Please, listen to what I'm telling you. You're seeing the prelude, not only of the Antichrist coming, but you're seeing the first stages, the prelude, to get a hold of this area completely for the Jews so that they can rebuild that temple that the Antichrist is going to go into. We are living in exciting times. These are the times that the prophets wanted to see. These are the times that Jesus Christ said that we're coming, and we're seeing the very things that he said to watch for. And if you're not watching, if you're not ready, it's going to take you as a thief, just like the Lord said. And I'm doing everything in my power to show you these events to get you ready for what's coming. Now, I can assure you, I promise you, that in the next couple months you're going to hear more news about this Temple Mount area. Not only that, but you're going to hear more news about a possible conflict because the peace process is broken down. We know that Paul said in the last days, when they're calling for peace and safety, sudden destruction comes. So not only is there concerns about this Temple Mount area, there's also concerns about the failing peace process, and in that failing peace process, my friends, is the problem of East Jerusalem where you're seeing this video taking place. Because the Palestinians want this area, East Jerusalem, to be the capital of their new Palestinian state, and it is not going to happen. Israel will maintain this area. They will build their temple, and the people who do not believe in Jesus Christ will see the Antichrist go in this new temple that will be built. Now the question is, do you believe? And if you don't, all I could say, stick around, keep coming to my website. I'm going to be exposing the news, connecting the dots. You are going to see prophecy in your face. I can promise you that because the word of the Lord is always good. All this was a demonstration of the problems on the Temple Mount. That's what the MK is doing here. Now, I wanted to show you this because this is really important news. It brings the last days into focus because there's not many prophecies left to be fulfilled before the 7-year tribulation begins. Just the conflicts from Psalm 83, we know that the Ezekiel war has not been fulfilled yet, and the temple has to be rebuilt. So, in between that, we've seen just about everything else take place. And we are in the birth pangs, and part of the birth pangs is what's going on in this Temple Mount area. So again, please keep on the watch. Listen to what the Lord is saying. Watch with us as we live through the preludes of these last days signs.